Hi, nice to see you again. This is Ed again, and here we are on, well, you know, if you're here, you know that my YouTube channel is called Atheist, the Bird with No Cage, and I like to talk about whatever shit's going on in my head, but especially things pertinent to religion and my lack of religion, my atheism, of course. So today, I think I'm gonna start out talking a little bit about I think in about a week. We're around I think it's the 12th of April today, is it? 12th of April, and the 23rd. So it's at 11 days. The 23rd is my 81st birthday, and I'm having, well, the whole experience of aging, especially, you know, advanced age like mine, is very, very interesting, very challenging too, both. One of the things that goes through your head, it reminds me of, you know, Frank Sinatra. I guess we can do it at any age, but when I remember more, it's more prominent when, you know, when you get to be my age, in your 80s, and certain things that we take for granted during the rest of our lives become maybe not even available, or at least challenging, like very simple things. In my case, my personal problems that not all aging people have is I'm almost blind. My right eye is completely blind, and my left eye is weak, so my vision is, I have enough vision to walk around as long as there's, like in the sunlight, I can see the pool over there. I can see Jose Luis doing the photographic work here and running the camera to do the video and everything. But I also have this other problem of vertigo, which has taken an upturn just recently, in the last days, let's say. It's become by vertigo, I'm talking about the only way that I can really describe the experience is it's close to a feeling dizzy, but not quite, but a problem of balance. I have, while I'm sitting, it's not much of an issue, but as soon as I stand up, it becomes an issue, and my balance, my lack of balance keeps reminding me, and, you know, I have moments of feeling like I might fall and that kind of thing. But I also have times where until recently, let's say this, when I'm sitting, I had no concept of the vertigo. Now, as I'm talking to you, I do have a concept of it. But what was happening before, it would come on me, this vertigo, and it would cause a bit of a feeling of nausea and kind of fear. I would go, oh boy, because I would feel as though I was going to pass out or not, or something like that. And it was very, I don't know, not scary really, but very off-putting, and I would kind of often sort of run for my bed, get up the best I could, and want to get to my bed and just lay down. Because when I was laying down, and it still seems to be the case when I'm laying down, that's when I feel the least amount of vertigo or anything like that. But I mean, I guess I also, I mean, just today, with the help of my wife, you know, my wife Linda, I came to realize, yeah, this is problematic, but I think just today I started to go, hey, instead of fighting this and being upset, and trying to figure out, okay, how am I going to change it and everything, just deal with it. This is the way it is. I'm probably going to be this way for whatever time I have left to live. And that is comforting, I think. So today, without even giving you any segues or anything like that, I spent some time today working on the idea, or investigating the idea of existentialism. So I looked up Jean-Paul Sartre, who is probably the most famous existentialist, and read some stuff or listened to a video talking about Sartre's philosophy and so on. And I find that my philosophy of life seems to come pretty much into conjunction, or whatever you call it. It just seems to parallel and agree with the way Sartre looked at the world. And he was non-religious, and so he started to look at you hear this thing, well, without religion, where do you get your meaning in life, and those kinds of questions. So Jean-Paul did a good job of, or got very involved with that. He had a sidekick too. What was her name? Simone de Beauvoir. Well, I can't say her name correctly. You guys look it up, or maybe you already know it if you listen to this. And they discussed his ideas, and I'm going to try to drop my version of one of the things that Jean-Paul said that really struck me. His view of life is that, he says, here we are, we find ourselves here in this life, and some people complain or take the stance that, look, it's not my choice to be here. I had nothing to do with this. Absolutely nothing. It wasn't my idea to be here. My mother and father had sex, and that, the rest of the story had happened. So some people can turn that into the kind of argument, so look, I didn't ask to be here, so I have no responsibilities for what I do. Sartre came up with the argument that that's not true, at least not the way he viewed it. He said, I'm here and I'm responsible for who I am, what I do. I'm responsible for how I live. There's just no getting around that. I just happen to be a human being, something that I had nothing to do with, didn't ask for and all that, but still I have to decide how to be responsible. And so if I'm here by accident, it also can mean, you'll hear religious people going, well, where do you get your meaning in life? And his argument was, You don't come with meaning. If you want meaning, you make it, you choose it, or whatever. I mean, and long before I thought about this existentialism or anything, I was doing these videos, and I guess arguably that's part of what gives me meaning. Just talking about this issue of, you know, me being an atheist and living in a world where a really high percentage, way more than half, maybe as high as 80 or 90%, are religious. That means, well, I have no belief in any God. Those people definitely do have a belief in at least one God, some of them more, depending on the religion or the version of the religion. And so maybe that's, you know, what I'm doing here, even at my age, is, and it does give me, it gives me some satisfaction. I have no idea if anybody's even listening to me, or anybody, or even if there are people listening to me, or they give a damn, or pay any attention, or any of that. But it's an example. 10?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. That was the signal, we're at 10 minutes. It's just an example of it's something that I do. It gives me an opportunity to express the way that I feel about things without any pushback or any of that kind of thing. Although I love discussion, especially with religious folks. And I don't want to argue with religious folks, as long as they're willing to have a friendly conversation. I totally enjoy that thing. For me, a big part of my journey is trying to understand how religious folks can actually believe what they say they believe, or have them explain to me why they believe the things that, you know, the whole list of the things that goes on in the Bible that I've said ad nauseum over and over again just seems so ridiculous. Ideas like, you know, the big serpent talking to the Eve, who's supposedly the first woman. I mean, all of that is just like a fairy tale to me. But I love talking to religious people about it. So that's an adventure for me, trying to understand how they, or why they can come to believe that true when it just seems so foreign or totally impossible for me. Okay, I want to jump. One thing that, I don't know, maybe I can connect it by, I was going to say it's disconnected, but maybe I can connect this idea by saying meaning, trying to find meaning in life. One thing I'm doing currently, I live here in Mexico and have for 24, getting not too far from 25 years I've lived here. And for me, one of the things that's always been important is to learn the language. Part of my belief and meaning maybe in life is that I think his language is incredibly important. More importantly, communication perhaps is the basis of it, but that's the way we do it, is by using language. So I'm currently studying. I think you'd probably agree if you saw what I was doing, that I'm pretty diligent now. I mean, most of those other 24 years, there was a time in the early going when I was diligent. I had a teacher, you know, and spent time with her and da da da. But anyway, I'm back to that now, and now there's so much wonderful stuff on the internet that helps me, but I've got a great teacher who has become a friend, and I look at her and, okay, 1 minute. I look at her and think of her as not only a friend, a teacher, but also someone that I can bounce ideas off. I can talk about how I feel. We discuss philosophic ideas. She wouldn't call them philosophic ideas, but they are. We can talk about culture, since, you know, that's part of living in Mexico. You're experiencing a different culture and all that. And anyway, there's no sort of package here, a beginning and an end of, but just sharing some thoughts of a 81 almost year-old brain. And I hope you, if you get a little bit out of this, or you learn anything, probably not going to happen, but I'll be happy about that. And we'll just wrap it up there. And thank you, and we'll see you in the next one. I'm Ed from Atheist to Bird with No Cage, and we'll see you next time. Bye.